This video is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. They have engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredible comfortable grooming experience. The 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed, optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time in the bathroom. I'm one of the first people to try out the new 4.0, and I was simply blown away. The craftsmanship and the details on the 4.0 are next level. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code RMB at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code RMB. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. The Memphis Grizzlies came into last season as one of the NBA's youngest teams, and as a result, the expectations weren't very high. But they had a fantastic season, and they finished with a 38-34 record, which was the first time they had a record over 500 in the last 4 seasons. And also for the first time in 4 seasons, they made the playoffs. This team has been trending in the right direction ever since 2017-18. They have gone from 22 wins to 33, 34, and 38 last season. While the next step for them may not be title contention, there is a fair expectation for them to make progress and play for more than just a play-in tournament and possibly become a top 6 seed. The West is getting better and better, and not to mention healthier, so that won't exactly be an easy task. Last season, the Grizzlies accomplished the first step in their ascension from a full rebuild to championship contender. Some rebuilds take a long time, and it's hard for a young team to win consistently. The Grizzlies really accelerated their progress last season. They are a fun, young, upstart team that actually shocked everyone and made the playoffs last season. They made the play-in tournament last season as the 9th seed in the Western Conference. They will go on to win both games against the San Antonio Spurs and the Golden State Warriors to secure the 8th and final playoff spot. They will face the Utah Jazz in the first round, who had the NBA's best record. They took advantage of the Jazz being without their best player in the first game, but ultimately, the Grizzlies will go on to lose the next 4 games and be eliminated from the playoffs. But it was definitely a step in the right direction, especially for a team that most experts didn't think was ready to compete for a playoff spot just yet. Even though Ja Morant didn't take the biggest leap in his production last season, he did show what kind of game changer he could be in the play-in tournament and in the first round of the playoffs. His stats in the regular season and the playoffs were like night and day. He looked like a superstar in the postseason. And that's what this franchise needs, that great talent that can help lead this team to contention. The Grizzlies will only go as far as Ja Morant leads them. He's a franchise player in every sense of the word. And if he can ever get his outside shot consistent, it's lights out for any team that has to guard against this guy. He went from averaging 19-7 in the regular season to averaging 30-8 in the playoffs. And that's with him still shooting around 32% from the three-point line. Of the 19 points last season, over 9 points came off drives, and he shot 64% at the rim. Over the last decade, the Grizzlies have always been known for their defense, and that hasn't changed with this new era. This team ranked 7th on defense last season. As young guys get more experience, and then with the addition of Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson Jr. playing more, I see no reason why this team can't be a top 10 defensive team again next season. They were 3rd in the league in contested shots, and were 2nd in the league when it came to recovering loose balls, and they finished 4th in deflections. They do the dirty work on the defensive end, and that usually translates to wins. This team is built with their defense, but they do have a lot of untapped potential on offense. Ja Morant is a great foundational piece, but he needs a co-star. Their success last season was mostly without their second best player, Jaren Jackson Jr. He has to be able to stay on the court, and it's really unfair to judge his game and stats last season coming off a torn meniscus injury. But just how good can he become? Can he actually grow into the second best player on a championship team, or is he really a third option type of player? Jackson Jr. tends to stay around the perimeter looking for the three-point shot more than anything. That's probably the main reason why he's only averaged 5 rebounds a game in his short career. He has great size and length, and he's able to stretch the floor and knock down threes and protect the rim. In his 3-year career, he has shot 37% from 3 and has blocked 1.5 shots per game. But the team needs to see improvement in his post defense, as he ranked just in the 36th percentile in 2019-20. An opponent shot 54% against him in the post. This offense can really take off if Jackson Jr. plays the center position, but he has to become a better rebounder and a better overall defender. He needs to mix up his offensive approach, demand the ball in the post more, and get some easy buckets. With him not being on the court that much last season, Dillon Brooks emerged as the Grizzlies' second best player for the most part. It was either him or Jonas Valanciunas. The former second-round pick in 2017 has developed into more than just a normal role player. He's a legit 3-and-D player that has the skill set to be the go-to guy in clutch situations and deliver. Brooks would have fit in just fine in the grit and grind era with players like Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol. He's arrogant, he's confident, he's tenacious, and he's never shied away from a challenge. He'll take on any player head-on, from Steph Curry to LeBron James. I'm not sure if he's an all-star caliber player, but his impact on this team last season was definitely all-star worthy. His pride and joy is on the defensive end, but he really took a big step offensively last season. When the team needs a boost, he's more than capable of completely taking over the game. We've seen him explode in third quarters time and time again, with the opposing teams unable to stop him. In fact, if not for Ja Morant's 30 points per game in the playoffs, Dillon Brooks' 25 points per game would have been a new franchise playoff record. The best part, Brooks is only 25 years old. This offseason, the Grizzlies sacrificed the consistent production of Jonas Valanciunas and Grayson Allen for the opportunity to move up in the draft and select Zaire Williams. Who knows what type of player Williams will end up becoming, but he does have talent, and the Grizzlies are definitely a team that needs to take chances like that. Memphis is not a free agent destination, so I understand the move to get Zaire Williams. But Valanciunas has been a legit big man for them in his time with the Grizzlies, and he really seemed to fit their style of play. So swapping him out for an older Steven Adams will have a negative impact on this team in some way. The Grizzlies will lose 17 points and 12 rebounds per game in trading away Valanciunas. Adams is a good defender in the paint, but this move hurts the offense in the short term. The Grizzlies were an average offense last season, but with this trade, it's going to put more pressure on Morant, Jackson Jr., and Brooks to do more this season compared to last season. At times, scoring points was an issue for this team. They ranked just 15th in points per game last season, 24th in three-pointers made, and 20th in three-point percentage. And they also didn't get to the free throw line a lot last season, finishing 17th on the year. I don't believe the loss of Grayson Allen will hurt this team that much. Desmond Bane is ready to step right on in. I'm really expecting him to take a big step this upcoming season. He could be the Mikal Bridges of the Grizzlies, a player that can do it all, play defense, make outside jump shots, make the extra pass, and create his own offense from time to time. I knew Bane was NBA ready when he was drafted. He was a 4-year player in college, and he had the NBA body that was ready for an 82-game regular season. He came into last season red hot, and he looked like a veteran player from day one. In his rookie year, he averaged 9 points, 3 rebounds, and almost 2 assists per game. With Steven Adams in the starting lineup, Bane's outside shooting will be badly needed, so he will automatically be my choice to start at the shooting guard position. Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark are also big important pieces to this team. After having such a good efficient rookie year, Brandon Clark took somewhat of a step back in his sophomore season and found himself outside the rotation late in the season. His scoring average went from 12 points to 10 points, and his three-point percentage went from 36% to 26%, which is a big drop. But I do believe that Clark has the skill set and athleticism to be a more consistent impact player for the Grizzlies in the future. He's definitely a good defensive player, but I believe he can give more on offense than he showed last season. I believe Clark is still the second most talented big man on this team, and I expect him to improve his outside shooting and become more consistent. Head coach Taylor Jenkins chose to play Xavier Tillman over him late in the season. Let's see how things play out this upcoming season. This team is one of the youngest teams in the NBA, and every single one of their young players needs to take another step forward. Morant needs to shoot the ball better from three, Dillon Brooks needs to become more efficient with his shooting, and Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to stay healthy. Like I said earlier, I understand why they took a gamble with the trade on Jonas Valanciunas for a chance to get a very talented prospect in Zion Williams. It may pay dividends in the future, but for the short term, the loss of Valanciunas could keep the Grizzlies from making the playoffs for the second straight year. I have the Memphis Grizzlies finishing in 9th place with a 38-44 record. This team is expecting a big bounce-back season from Jaren Jackson Jr. They need to see if he can be the sidekick that Morant can depend on. Or is he just more of a third option? I still expect steady progress from the young core of this team, but I believe the loss of Valanciunas and also the return of Klay Thompson to the Warriors will be the main reasons why the Grizzlies will be on the outside looking in when it comes to the playoffs. I believe this team is still one major piece away from truly competing at the top of the Western Conference.